going to Suleja, from Zuba to Suleja, you don't get into Suleja. Along the way, there is a tiny road, asphalt, tar, that you can take it, right? And then when you take it, it leads you to an artificial river here in Suleja. This is something spectacular, amazing. It's you wouldn't know that it existed. Another one, I think they know it here also in Abuja, up in Pape, where you have the quarry, you have a I don't know what they call it, a reservoir, a dam, a lake, I really don't know. But it is here in Abuja, it is in the Pape Hills. Another one that most people might not know is in a place in Ogun State, between the border between Ogun and Ekiti State. It's a suspended lake. There are only two of them in the world. Only two of them in the world. One is in America, in Colorado. Funny enough, where I went to school, where I went to university is in Colorado. The second one is in Ibadan. Sorry, Ibadan and Ekiti. It's I forgot the name. The name of the place is on the tip of my tongue. But these are places that not many people know about, and they should know about it. Your viewers or whoever is watching knows what I'm talking about, knows the area that I'm talking about. So these are the two highlights. Of course, it's not only Nigeria I've been to. I've been to Cotonou, I've been to Togo, I've been to a place called Ada, at the Volta region in Accra. I've gone up in Ghana too. I've gone up to the mountains in Akosombo. Beautiful, beautiful place. Down to a city called Go, also in Ghana. Then Togo. I've gone to Niger, from Nigeria, from Abuja to Niamey. I did that 6 years ago. So yeah, I've explored all Nigeria, parts of West Africa, and yeah. There is something that I want Nigerians to know. Adventurous people, they could be cycling on a bicycle. They could be power bikes, they could be motorcycle, they could be skating, they could be walking. There are people in the world today that actually do travel around the world on a bicycle. They do travel around the world on skates, roller skates, inline roller skates, for example. Obviously, you're not worried about the time. It takes you 10 years, 8 years, 7 years, no matter what. It's the thrill of the adventure, exploring different places. So, one of the tools which is excellent for promoting and showcasing Nigeria's potential is through tourism. And one of the biggest advantages I have as a biker who's based here in Nigeria is I've been everywhere. So people through friends of friends contact me to give them assistance and render assistance to them through their journey through West Africa, precisely Nigeria. Because I've done it over the years, 5-6 years, I've helped some foreigners come through. I've developed a reputation somehow with them, and I've gotten to understand more what travelers really want. A lot of them want to do sight and seeing. A lot of them want to explore. They heard a lot about, for example, Africa, specifically Nigeria. They've heard that in Nigeria, very, very, very disturbingly, is that all they've heard about Nigeria is negative things. Insecurity, bad roads, so on and so forth. It is not always the case. So I wanted to highlight that fact to travelers, that Nigeria is actually a safe place to travel and explore. It's blessed with so much beauty, natural resources in abundance. Because of that, motorcycle riding and traveling is key to that. I've had the opportunity to help many people. As I'm talking to you right now, there are 2 people that I've helped. One is an Indian citizen of the United States. He has traveled, he has been on the road for 1 year, 7 months now.
Whoa.
He's 58 years old and he's touring the world on his motorcycle. And somebody gave him my contact details that when he comes into Nigeria, he should contact me. So I was able to provide assistance. I didn't meet him, but through the network of bikers that I have here in Nigeria, in the States, all over, we were able to be of help to him. Another biker who called me, as a matter of fact, yesterday, is a South African biker. He's 71 years old. 71, and he's coming from South Africa. He's touring also the world. His visa to Schengen, to Europe, begins to take effect in February. So he has 4 months to traverse West Africa to get to Morocco. That's the entry point into Europe. So somebody, he saw my number and my name in a blog in his country. So he contacted me yesterday and said, am I this person? I said, I am. What advice do I have for him? So I was able to render some advice to him. He hasn't started his journey yet. He's starting his journey on Wednesday. He's going to enter Cameroon, coming to Cameroon. From Cameroon, now he begins his expedition. And I've already set the ground set. I advised him the entry points to take into Nigeria. So when these people come, travelers, they are only traveling, traversing through. They don't stay. They, to a man and a woman, every single one of them tells me that what they were taught about Nigeria was not the case. To a man, to a point. No one said, oh no, I'm scared, I don't want to leave my hotel. The reverse is the case. They want to go and explore. They want to go and see. Nigerians are known for their hospitality. Forget whatever negative things you might hear. I can tell you 110% that they are some of the most hospitable, welcoming citizens of any country in the world. They are accommodating, they are welcoming, whether you are Filipino, Asian, whether you are Arab, whether you are white, whether you are European, whether they are so welcoming. So they feel comfortable, the foreigners, when they come from Sweden, from Latvia, from Spain, from France, from Japan, you name it, from South Africa, from Denmark, from Germany. They feel comfortable when they know that, okay, there's another light-skinned person who is not a Nigerian, who is not African, okay, that knows Africa very well, knows Nigeria very well. So they feel comfortable dealing with me. So my Nigerian biker brothers and sisters, they know this as well. So they now send my name to them, right? They'll call me and say, please, there's this person that's gonna come. We're gonna host him here. He's gonna come tonight to Abuja. Please take over, blah blah. I said no problem. Luckily, alhamdulillah for me, thank God, I've left an impression on these foreigners. That 2 of them said they wanna, after they finish their journey, they wanna come back and eventually live here in this country. They want to come and live here. They are tired of Europe. They are tired of the high cost of living in Europe. For them, Africa, the third world here, is still much more affordable than their own countries, and there is a lot to see. There is a lot to do here, you know. So that's one very big advantage a country like Nigeria has over other African countries. When I say diversity, when people say diversity, I know the diversity they're talking about. I can speak to it. You can have Muslims, you have Christians, you have atheists, you have different tribes. I've met tribes from Chukun, that is Adamawa, to Efik, that is in Cross River State and Atam, to Benue, you have the Tiv, you have the Idoma people, so many. And the common denominator of all of them is their hospitality, their welcoming mindset to strangers. Ironically, between themselves, there seems to be friction. There seems to be lack of cooperation and no, but to outsiders, black or white, they come together. They want to put the best foot forward. You know, so that's a positive thing that comes out of this.
Yeah.